What's going on, boys? How you guys doing? What's up, Gravinder, G Money, Stevo, Vinay? How you guys doing? Crazy day, boys. Absolute ripper. Like, who would have expected this last night, right? What's up, Turkey? How you doing, bro? Um, Complete disaster in the market the last few days. I mean, everyone was worried about war. Everyone was worried about this, that, blah blah blah. People were talking about limit downs last night. I told you this morning we're not gonna get a limit down. I'm pretty sure. I did not expect this. I did not expect to close green, but market usually does what you least expect, right? So today really reminds me, actually we're going to switch over the NQ chart, guys. We have to compare the last bottom because that's what this is right now, right? So basically what you see here is a complete dump off of like almost 2 weeks, what's up, Ginger? A 2 week dump off into January 24th. We opened on a huge gap lower, right? We opened at 14.4. The low of the day was 13.706 basically. And what happened that day is the buyers just jumped in. What's up, Ricky? Big gap down after like 8 days straight down. Everyone jumped in, ripped it up, closed it on a hammer. And that's basically what happened today. 5 straight days down, like ugly days in tech straight, and then today was a gap down and they just bought the dip completely, ended it with a huge hammer candle just like Jan 24th. So we have to watch what's up, Armand, how you doing? We have to watch what happens tomorrow, guys. Tomorrow is very key. Last time on January 24th, the next day we opened lower, so we closed January 24th on 14.4, no, 14.501. We opened the next day at 14,495. So not big of a gap down, but still a red day, and we closed lower than the day before. So that's why I was thinking puts into the close today. If the pattern repeats, the pattern does not have to repeat. We can absolutely just gap up and go tomorrow. Let's see what happens. We have to wait. There's no way you can call this exactly the same because patterns are not exactly the same. All we're saying is why I was leaning that way. Every time we've had a huge sell-off, a huge hammer candle at least indicates usually 2 or 3 buy days. You can see it here, you can see it here, huge sell-off into this hammer, and then a big couple days. And just go back in history and it's the same thing, hammer candle into 3 straight days. It happens a lot. It's called a hammer reversal, and that's what we're watching. I got you, Vinay, 1 second. Other than that, SPY, I mean, we did not close below January 24th lows yet. So basically, even though we opened way below it, we still closed above it. So we still have to use this support of 420.76 is the support. And then that's the main support right now, 420.76. If we dip back below 420.76 or any close below 420.76, very bearish now. And that's the main level you have to watch. To the upside, just watch the 8-day moving average at 433.80. QQQ, this is the yellow, is that big demand zone I sent in the newsletter this week. Again, we took out the low, but we reclaimed it. Yesterday we closed below the low on tech, and then today right away reclaimed it. We did not quite get to yesterday's highs. Yesterday's highs were 342.18. Today we closed at 341. So we didn't quite get back to yesterday's highs, but we got right back into that demand area, which is very bullish. Today, there was no options expiration, so the flow wasn't helping that much, the options. This was actual buying. And if you look at the volume, I know somebody, I think Dhruv said there was no real volume. Look at this chart, guys. How can you say there's no volume in this? Like, this is selling volume, selling volume, selling. Look at the last buying day. The last buying day, the bar was here. Look where the bars are today. Same thing with here. And the normal bars are down here. If you guys see this little mark here, look at the buying today. This is actual people buying the dip. So does it continue? Let's see. Tomorrow is Friday. We will have the flows in effect as well. We have to wait and see where we open tomorrow and where we close tomorrow. It's very key. Before anyone calls any type of bottom, if we take out today's high, I do think we rally for a few days at least, just because of where the RSIs are. If you guys look at the 4 hours, look at where we were on the 4 hour. I've taught you guys this over and over. Stochastics and RSI way overdone on the 4 hour is rare on the indexes. We had it back here. We went on a huge rip. We had it back here. Huge rip, right? So just keep an eye out for those 4 hour RSIs. Once they drop super oversold, usually a rip is on the way. And that's exactly what we got today. XLF as well. XLF. Same thing on the 4-hour, got underneath. Look at the RSI is way down here at 19, guys. When in history do you see 19? You see it back here on January 24th, the last low where we ripped for 3-4 days. You see it back here, December 20th, and we ripped straight up V-shape. So just keep an eye on those 4-hour RSIs. Right now, we did cool them off. Do we get continuation? That depends on tomorrow and Monday, in my opinion. IWM, same thing. I mean, this is the strongest. Like T said, IWM led us into this fall. Oh my God. So IWM will probably lead us up. If we're going up, you guys seen this last time from COVID? This is a COVID low right here. No. COVID lows right here. IWM led us all the way up. And now on the way down, it led us all the way down. It was the weakest one. Lost the most. Now, if we want to reverse and bounce hard, IWM will lead us up. IWM's up 2.69% today. SPY closed up 1.51. QQQ closed up 3.36. Wait, that's not right. Is it? Yeah, so tech actually regained more points, I guess, from the open. But IWM should lead us up because if it leads us down, it has to lead us up. VIX under 30 for most of the day, closed just above 30. We had a big gap to fill. We opened way up here. We came down, we filled the gap and then some. Right now on the VIX, again, it's just higher lows and higher highs. So we need to take out this 39 if we want more volatility. 39 needs to be taken out, or VIX can just slowly come back down to 20 bucks. We have to see tomorrow. There's no telling where VIX goes. We were a little bit far off the 8-day moving average. But again, VIX, you can't chart it normally. It's just about how it does. Usually it's just panic and then sell off, panic and then sell off, panic and then sell off. But right now it's constructive. It's forming higher lows still. So keep an eye on more volatility to come. Apple. So I want to explain this chart because me and Bookie went into this trade. I know a lot of people missed this trade. I want to explain why. So we had the 30-minute chart open. We had an hourly chart open right next to it. What I want to go over here is, this is just the trade. This is where we entered puts. So we were running up 2 hours in a row on Apple. Everything was kind of overheated. On the 5:15, RSI was getting up there. Apple, we entered puts here. Why did we enter puts here? This is a clear reversal candle. This upper wick, everyone took profits. We closed right at the bottom of the wick, right? Usually that indicates a reversal. All right, so today you can't really tell, but like you see this, the body's way lower, upper wick, and we just went down. A lot of times in history, if you go back on Apple, it's the same story. We entered puts there, and the next bar just completely screwed us. It happens. We have to play the probability, right? That's what we do as traders. We're not gonna be right all the time. The hourly candle, however, closed above my 50-day moving average. This little yellow line coming here, so that's why I had to cut them at the end of the day. I took the loss. But other than that, our trade was set up. We had to take it. We got stopped out. It happens. For tomorrow, Apple does look good now. Like, I mean, look at that bar. We were completely outside the Bollinger Band this morning on Apple. We went and we closed inside of it. So, looks good for tomorrow. Let's see if we can get continuation. Last time we closed outside the Bollinger Band completely. Or this time we dipped way below it as well. We recovered a lot. That's January 24th. And just go back and you can look anytime we close outside. It usually likes to stay inside the bands. So even today, if you bought it open, sold at close, you got big money. AXP. So AXP, we had the calls too. These ones went up huge. We stopped out of these as well. It's a tough time to trade right now, guys. Any headline can come out at any time. I want to keep my stop losses tight. I'll take small losses and small wins right now. Honestly, it's just that kind of market. We got World War III starting. I mean, can't really be swinging trades too much, right? So Apple, big gap down, closed above the 21-day moving average. Next level up is the 8-day, which is at 191. So big move is possible. Or this is AXP, sorry. Closed above the 21-day. Next move up is 191.72. Let's see if we can get there tomorrow. If any continuation, look, big buying volume. Looks great. Even if you look at the Bollinger Bands again, it was probably outside. No, this one has wide Bollinger Bands just because of the big move it made. But look at the yellow line. The 50-day moving average came underneath, acted as support, and we ripped it right back up. So this next resistance would be 190.60 and 191 at the 8-day moving average. NQ, we already went over. SE, I took these 130 calls. We got earnings on March 1st, which is Tuesday. This one was kind of sideways. I think Oscar pointed it out to me. The whole market was absolutely ripping. and SE was just going sideways. So the market was going crazy right here. So I added it right here, I think, a $130 call for March 4th, 550, and we sold them at $7. So why would I hold them overnight, right? We got the big move already. And tomorrow, if we get a gap down, I'll get back in these SEs probably. Close near high today, looks good. Solid company, earnings should be good, but obviously the market's just been destroying high growth, and that's what you see here. Roku puts, we had 116 puts yesterday at close. It opened at 110, and look at this rip. Mamba caught a piece of this. Congrats, Mamba. He's been crushing it lately. Don't doubt this man right now. Huge rip up. We opened actually around 110, 112-ish, and we closed around 135. So just a massive move on Roku today, guys. If you caught calls, congratulations. Overall, on this chart, there is a gap to fill up to 143, which would be another $9 move. Once it fills that gap, I have no idea where it goes. Right now, the 8-day moving average 136.50. We almost touched it today. Maybe we get up there tomorrow and then come back down. Let's see what happens when stocks start getting to their 8-day moving average. Other than that, let's go into Tesla. Tesla was an absolute beast today, up 4%, but from the actual lows, I read somewhere that Tesla was up like 16% or something, 16, 17%. So again, if you put on the bands, you can kind of see why. Yeah, see how it closed completely outside the Bollinger Bands. Today we had to make a big recovery, nice volume, big buying volume. I seen big flow into $1,000 calls for December. Big money was buying Tesla today. And other than that, again, we have to see for tomorrow. Do we get continuation up or do we come right back down? Right now, with the volume, with the buying, with everything going on, it looks like the bottom might be in. If I had to guess, I would say it's in for at least 3-4 days. I think it's going to be another scenario just like Jan 24th. Oh, Tesla went on Jan 28th. But on the indexes, Jan 24th, again, we had a huge bounce and then we rolled right back over to take lows. That could be another scenario. Even in this scenario, in 4 or 5 days, we went sideways and then we went up. So that's why tomorrow and Monday is so tricky. And that's all I got to say about that. Of course, I'm on SQ right here. We got earnings, I think, after hours. I don't know if their earnings are out or not. It looks like they're up a little bit. But on the daily here, let's go on daily. So we have the 8-day moving average at 99.22. So above that would be bullish. Under that, it can still reject and come back down. I don't know what their earnings are right now. Obviously, I've been on here. But you go on the daily. Let's look at the bands here. It looks like we are completely outside the bands on this as well. 88.73. Yeah, so we opened up $6 underneath the lower band. It ripped it right back and closed it within it. So can't really say much. Again, solid day all across the board. You can look at all the stocks and they all look like this. Huge dump off. And then today, just bullish engulfing candles. Big rip up. Everything was just too overdone to the downside. Buying algos and buying retail and stuff, they all started picking up equity today. I'm sure hedge funds were buying as well. And right now, after hours, it is ripping. So they probably said something good in earnings. It's up a cool 10%-ish, maybe 8% right now after hours. Where do we open tomorrow? I have no idea. If we open above the 8-day moving average, which is at 99, that's bullish for the stock. Then you have to wait for a higher low and a higher high to form for the bulls to take back into control. SE, I just did, Isaac. Clove, we can do. I grabbed some equity today on Clove. Their earnings were great yesterday. I mean, this one was crushed off with the rest of the market. Earnings were absolutely fantastic. I posted them in the premium chat yesterday. Again, there's no real technical reason. The earnings were great. The stock market was good today. That's a very key. If the indexes are strong, then stocks can really move. It doesn't matter if you have amazing earnings. If the stock market is weak, those stocks are going to get punished anyways. You guys seen UPST, you've seen Airbnb, but right now on Clove, we closed above the 8-day moving average. The next resistance is at 252. If we get over 252 and close above 252, and then we can make our way to the 50-day moving average. If we give up today's gains, I would use today's lows and then these lows from the day before. So 195 and 208 are support. 195, 208 support. And above would be 252 and 308 on Clove. That's what we got. Other than that, I mean, Oh yeah, so this is what I mean, guys. UPST absolutely murdered their earnings. They crushed every single sector that they, or every single question they had that was answered. Look at this. After earnings, it went from 109 and we closed above 150. So a $41 move after earnings, and look what the market did to it the next 3-4 days. Straight down in a line, straight back to the level it was pre-earnings, even though they crushed earnings. So now the market is good. These kinds of companies are gonna move the most. Look, UPST is up 17% today. All right, so focus on companies that have good earnings, but you have to buy them when the market conditions align. That's a secret. Airbnb annihilated their earnings. They had such good earnings. They went from 180 all the way to 191 the next day. $11 move. This is a big move for this company. And look what the market did. Not only did it take away its earnings, it took away like the last 2 weeks of gains in like 4 days. Yesterday it was down 9%. Today the market was in its favor. Look what Airbnb did. It went up almost 6%, which is almost $8 move. But we opened much lower. So if you look at the overall picture, Airbnb went up $17 today. Pay attention to companies with good earnings. When the market shows some kind of strength, those companies go up the most. All right, guys. Thank you guys for attending.